Evening, everyone. This is Curlon doing yet another Battle for Midway match. Tonight, it's a Week 3 matchup in Division 4, Division D, Group 4, however you want to call it. It's the 79th Raptor Talon Cluster versus Aces Wild India Outlaws. But before we get there, for those that don't know, Battle for Midway, division of MRBC. This is a 6-on-6 format. Over the course of 5 drops. Maps are predetermined, except for the last drop, where it's a team map ban. They get to work their way down a list of 3 possible maps to determine what the final outcome will be. Each drop has different tonnage restrictions, and to keep things more interesting, teams are only allowed to use a given mech chassis 3 times total across the evening. So you decide to bring 3 linebackers on your first drop, that's it. You're not using linebackers again for the rest of the night. So you can't get comfortable in one mech and expect that to carry you through an entire evening. So this week, we'll be seeing drops on Polar Highlands, Alpine Peaks, and then it'll either be River City, Forest Colony, or Viridian Bog for the final map. And So as you can see, first 2 drops, 250 to 275 tons. Drops 3 and 4, we up the tonnage, 375 to 400. And then for the final drop, we up it again, 425 to 450. Which, spread over 6 mechs, means this is when you can bring out the big boys. As noted, our home team is the 79th Raptor Talon Cluster. Now, assuming their team modification request goes through, this roster is accurate. They did have 1 change pending. We've got Gag, T-Bird, Crazy Mountain Biker, Gecko 312, Harper Steel, Vitine, Cazador, Ghost Sniper, Redefine, Ruger, Verticorda, and JJ's Juggernaut. Decent spread of skill here. Solid looking group. Jar's list, which as always is not accurate at all for this, pegs them at roughly 77th percentile as a squad. Again, as noted, completely inaccurate for this, as this is based on public play, not comp. Our away team, Aces Wild India Outlaws. For them, we've got Hectic 1, Black 6, Texas Ace, Alex 545, Jesder, Mikillen, 250 Dragon, Jalek, Mad Turtle, and Kaldabeski. Again, looking at ranks, decent spread of skill. Yar's list is saying 79th percentile, so on paper, fairly even matchup. Should make for an interesting evening. First 2 drops will be on Polar Highlands. As is normal for the Battle for Midway format, we use 3 cap points, not all 5. makes map control a little more interesting, especially when you've only got 6 players aside. On Polar, it being such a large map, it really makes things interesting. We've got Kappa, Theta, and Epsilon as available cap points. If players accidentally touch the other 2 cap points before the other team is completely eliminated, the clock starts ticking. They have to destroy the other team before either tickets get to 750 or time runs out, or they lose the match. On the flip side, if one team has a strong cap advantage and ticket count, but they lose their mechs, the remaining team at that point is allowed to touch all the cap points in an effort to get the ticket lead back in their favor. We actually saw last week an instance where that possibly could have been an issue, with a match actually ending on the clock before tickets were up, or both sides, or one side had eliminated the other. So you never know in Battle for Midway what you're going to see. In other news, I've been granted some redeem codes for MC and mech bays, so there will be giveaways this evening. I do them a little bit differently than MRBC official, mainly because I'm using a slightly different tool. I will force you to actually say a specific trigger in chat once I open the giveaway to get in the drawing. That said, once you're in the drawing, I'm not going to force you to re-enter the preceding ones after that. So get in early, get in on the most drawings. So at this point now, match is scheduled for 9:30. It's 9:28. I'm just waiting for an invite from one of the teams into the lobby. Not actually seen any activity yet. Just taking a quick look in a few different places, and I have not been contacted yet. So in the meantime, I get to fill dead air with my random babble. And at the moment, I don't have any. So instead, see if there's any interesting matches coming up. Starting at 10, a half hour from now, 228's Death from Above squad is going up against the Cranky Old Canadians. And Captain, that would be absolutely awesome. Now I'm going to have to see if I can figure out how to make that happen. Anyways, so as I was saying, about a half hour, there's going to be a Division 3 matchup. That will be cast by Just Call Me Ash on the official MRBC stream. He's also going to be doing giveaways, so stick around in both chats to get prizes from both of us. Thursday, we've got Mamma Mia versus Clan Widowmaker, Aces Wild versus Cameron's Highlanders. Then on Saturday, Imperials taking on the Smoke Adders. Should be good matchups. On the flip side, there have been some matches played recently. Russian Jade Falcon went 11-9 versus Phoenix Legion, so that was an even fight. Davian Strike Force blanked Dropship 4, 15-5. So that was a 5-0 decision in Davian's favor. And yeah, it doesn't look like any new results since the last batch of casts have gone up, so nothing else interesting there. I'm actually don't have this built as a scene yet, but let's take a look at what the overall scores are doing. That is not what I wanted. So, looking at EU Group 1, Div A, again, depending on how you want to call it. Oh, and it looks like I've got a spelling error. Kel, have your team manager verify the spelling on the tournament site for your name. That's what I went off of. If it's not correct there, you want to get that matched up because that potentially could cause some issue with scoring. Thank you for the correction. So meanwhile, looking at overall EU Group 1, Phoenix Legion is in the lead with 39 points, Russian Jade Falcon at 26, Dudes Club at 20, LRM Synergy at 15. And I gotta look at that. That may be skewed a little bit by some teams having more matches in than others. And that is the case. Phoenix Legion has one more match on the books so far than the others, so take their lead with a grain of salt. Group 2, EU. Drapu Blank, and I know I'm pronouncing that wrong and I apologize, 22 points, tied with 31st Hussar Regiment at 22 points, tied with 5th Falcon Dragoons, 22 points. Next is Clan Widowmaker Epsilon Galaxy at 20, RJF Erie at 18, Mamma Mia at 16. So, second div is very tight for EU. Flipping over to North America, Group 1. And we're going to skip Group 1 because there's something weird going on with how the scores are reported. Some battles are showing points, some are just showing wins and forfeits. So I don't want to guess points on that and get things wrong. Group 2, we have a tie for first with 42 and White Knight Legion at 26 points apiece. Davian Strike Force and Clan Crossfire tied at 24 points apiece. And then press F to pay respects, tied with Dropship 4 at 10 points apiece. In Group 3 North America, 228th Death from Above, 28 points. Mercstar Turret Drops, 26 points. Cranky Old Canadians, 20. Zeta, 18. Cameron's Highlanders, 16. Aces Wild, 12. So it'll be interesting to see if Cranky Old Canadians can put the boots to Death from Above and move up the leaderboard a bit tonight. Again, that match is in about half an hour. If you're watching on the MRBC League's channel, that match will supersede this one when it starts. FYI. Group 4, North America. Blackthorns Dragoons, 41 points. Smoke Adder, 505th, 35 points. 79th Raptor Talon Cluster at 30. Barnyard Circus, 25. Aces Wild India Outlaws, 24. So, it'll be interesting tonight to see if Aces Wild can gain some points on the 79th Raptor Talon and move up the leaderboard. So meanwhile, I see some people showing up in chat, and there's been interest in prizes. So, why don't we get some prizes going? You'll see in chat before you hear it on stream, if you type !BFM, you're going to be entered into the raffle. So as noted, there's going to be 6 items given away at the end of the stream. 3 mech bays, 3 sets of 1000 MC. So get in the raffle early. Stick around later to see if you win. Okay, and looks like I've missed some alerts. So, I'm going to throw you back to standby. I'm going to see if I can get in the lobby. Lobby is forming up. We'll be launching this shortly. And just waiting to see who gets the window seats on the dropship. Everyone wants the window seat, but only one mech can get it. And good to see a whole bunch of people jumping into the giveaway. And Polly, to answer your question, I'm okay with people winning multiple items. And we're loading. Just waiting for everyone to connect in. There we go. On the Ace's Wild side, we've got 3 bushwhackers, an assassin, mislinks, and a second assassin. 79th Raptor Talon Cluster, Viper, Locust, and not sure what happened there. Team kill on the Aces side. This may be a redrop. Yep.
Kappa is under enemy control.
Black Lantern, okay. So, we had an accidental team kill on Ace's Wild side. They've requested a redrop. 79th Raptor Talon Cluster has requested to play it out first. So my role here is spectator, not as referee. So we'll see what happens. Both sides have moved to Epsilon. 79th on seeing Epsilon get captured is kinda wandering into the middle. They were originally going to set up on the buildings, it looked like. Kinda making a migration to Theta. Some of them are turning. Aces is staying balled up. 79th is finally kind of balling up. Not quite sure what the hope is. I don't know if they want to try and come in behind Aces. So they've sent one unit off to go get Theta. That's going to give them 2 caps to Aces 1. Aces, meanwhile, as a unit, slowly making their way up towards Kappa. 79th is moving in behind them.
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
What I don't know... Yeah, they are going to push to Epsilon and Mass. No, they are making the turn. They're going to skip Epsilon. Press on the 2 cap lead. and try and meet up with Aces as Aces goes to flip Kappa.
Command confirming that
Ace's
we
viewpoint.
have possession of Kappa.
79th Raptor Talon has decent terrain to move, although with all that jumping, there's no way Aces doesn't know what's coming. Yep, they've turned. They're going to meet him head on. We're going to have a brawl. 79th gets a UAV up. And here go the first shots. Aces has picked Geg as the first target. 79th is a bit more random. Geg getting focused down excellently. Black finishes him off in the mislinks. Scrum continues. Cordia gets a kill in on Aces. Another kill on Aces. Harper Steel is looking poor at 32%, but Aces is not focusing him down. They're down to 3 players to 5. Fight is not in their favor. But they pull off one more 79th. Now 4 on 3. Harper about to drop as that mislink lays the machine guns into him. Hectic comes in to help. Aces again, showing excellent focus fire once a target's called. 3 on 3, although Black 6 on Aces is in very rough shape. Redefine for 79th is rough. Looks like Aces has decided Gecko is the next target. There goes a leg. Bushwhacker is legged. Oh, Black 6 self-destructs. 2 on 1. Bushwhacker is legged. Redefine is rough, but still has both legs. Hectic trying to shield, and that's it. 79th is able to use the 2-to-1 advantage to finish off the last Aces unit. They're now going to Kappa to flip it. Redefine's going to stick around to finish the flip while the Locust runs to flip Epsilon.
Kappa is under enemy control.
And we'll watch the Locust come in. Someone's obviously been drinking Mountain Dew. This Locust cannot just stand in cap. He has to run around it.
They've taken Epsilon.
Good form on 79th Raptor Talon. They are going to do the redrop.
The enemy has capped enough resources.
So,
we've failed.
this match does not count. Match doesn't count. We're not going to look at stats. So instead, let's bring up the map strat. And basically what happened, aces dropped, and then immediately one of their teammates alphaed into another's back, it looks like, and thus the drop was scuttled. So, really looking at the map strat, it wasn't a valid match. They cannot switch their mechs at this point, they cannot change their drops, so we should be back in the drop fairly quickly. It'll be interesting to see is if the strategy plays out the same. Both look to be going for 2 cap point control. Ace is going to Epsilon. Raptor is grabbing Kappa first. And then heading towards Theta, but then curved back in and chased Aces back to Kappa. So we'll see if the rotation happens again. So here we go. Drop 1, redo. Map is loading. And friendly reminder, when you hear me say this, it'll be 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Cranky Canadians versus Death from Above will be starting on the official MRBC League channel. If you're on the MRBC League channel now, it'll switch over to it. You can continue watching this match on the Curlon TV stream. Aces Wild successfully drops 6 mechs with no misclicks. So again, 3 Bushwhackers, 2 Assassins, and a Mislinks for Aces Wild. Screaming back across the map. 79th Raptor Talon cluster. Viper, Locust, Assassin, and, because I can never remember what these are, Black Lanterns. A pair of them. Looks to be Brawl config. Brawl config. So, as expected, Aces Wild is slowly mustering their troops towards Epsilon. 79th Raptor Talon has changed what they've done. They've left 1 unit to grab Kappa instead of the bulk of their forces. And they're staging up earlier in the middle of the map. So, expectation is at this point they're going to wait for Aces to start their cap and then try and smash into the back of them. Now, interestingly, they're not sending their Locust to keep an eye on Aces. Two units breaking off to get Theta. The flanking rotation has started. Aces, having seen this play last time, is anticipating and already starting to look for him instead of heading to Kappa.
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
Which is going to put the battle in these hills if both sides continue advancing. Aces running out on top of the hill, skylining themselves. 79th, for the most part, is staying down in cover at the moment. they should have no problem observing aces at this point. So they know it's coming. They've skylined themselves, so aces should be aware of where they are as well. So the question is, do they meet in the valley that 79th Raptor Talon is in? Or they push the brawl into the highlands? Or, plan C, do they rotate past each other in the night? They've got to be aware of where they are. That locust there has to be able to see them. They've got to be able to see the locust. They know where they are. Aces sees and is rotating. They're doing a decent job staying spread, so they're not vulnerable to strikes despite skylining themselves. 79th has put up a UAV to give themselves some warning of when the brawl is going to start. Second UAV goes up. 79th continues to run. They've sent one unit off to grab Epsilon. That's going to give them a 3-cap advantage. Look at all the UAVs. How many C-bills were just spent there? Aces is holding up.
They've taken Epsilon.
So Aces now really can't wait around too much longer. 79th Raptor Talon has a 3-cap advantage. An over 100 ticket count advantage. They're starting to push in. This is still really a slow game of chase. And as that ticket lead increases, Aces cannot afford to just sit back and follow Raptor Talon's footsteps across the map. Milliken has decided to give the Locust chase. Scores one good SRM volley. He's getting further away from, and yep, does a good job recognizing that he's too far out now to continue pursuing that. Aces are really spread out now. They've got one unit off in the distance going to Theta. 79th is doing the long, slow rotation to Theta. Maybe that's where they're gonna... No, the bulk of... Sorry. The bulk of Aces is kinda going at an intercept path to cut them off from getting to Theta. But they're gonna have to go more right to pull that off. Ticket lead is now 200 plus for 79th Raptor Talon. McKillen's gonna go flip Kappa. Aces is staying clustered except for one unit that's at Theta. So, apparently the plan was to wait. We're now going to see a 2-cap for Aces. Possibly a 3-cap. As the 79th has held off from pushing all the way around to Theta. I think they've spotted the rest of Ace's group.
Command confirming that we have possession of Kappa.
Nope, they've turned. They now realize that they no longer have any cap points. They're pushing in on Theta. They probably recognize that there's only one unit there. Black 6 does the quick cap and does a good job getting off before drawing any strikes or enemy fire. 79th Raptor Talon comes in to flip Theta back. and pursue Black 6. He didn't quite get out of there in time.
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
Aces Wild is trying to get in on this. Their light units are there first. However, it's now a 4-on-2, 5-on-2, about to be a 6-on-3, 6-on-5. Gag, once again, is the focus of Ace's very good focus fire. Redefine takes out Texas Ace the Assassin, so it's 5-on-5. Redefine catching the brunt of a 3-on-1. Milliken comes in to make it a 4-on-1, gets legged. Aces drops him. Advantage, Aces 5-4. Jalik and the Bushwhacker goes down hard. It's now even 4-on-4, and we really don't have Gecko's being focused. Harper Steel for the 70th Raptor Talon drops. Gecko's getting focused, dropped. Aces showing excellent brawling skill here. Looks like V-Tine's going to be the next to drop. 4-on-1. Not the fight he wanted. Little bit of face hugging prevents Aces from getting shots in. They finally break off. Dropped him down to 60. Black 6 is broken off to cap Theta, while the rest of Aces is going hunting. Which is a good call. Black 6 is down to 57% in that mislinks. So, send your healthy mechs out to do cap control. And as mislinks, he's fast enough to catch back up with them. Meanwhile, Verticorda in the Locust is flipping Kappa. 79th Raptor Talon still has the ticket lead. So he's going to get Kappa, counting tickets back
Kappa is under
for
enemy
79th
control.
Raptor Talons. That Locust can still potentially cause them trouble. Aces is now going to make a decision. And it looks like they're going to leave 2 units on Theta, 1 unit at the Assassin. McKillen is coming in to try and deal with the Locust directly. While the other Aces unit goes to control Epsilon. Strangers passing in the night. Locust sees him and ignores him. Does not want a straight up fight. And I don't blame him. Meanwhile, the Assassin is going to go turn Kappa back over for Aces. 60-point cap lead, or ticket lead for 79th Raptor Talon, but slowly falling as Aces has a 2-to-1 cap count and is about to be back to having all 3 caps. Verticoda is running into an unfair fight. It's going to be 2-on-1 when he gets there. Sees the mislinks. And the Bushwhacker. And is content to poke at range, taking advantage of his mediums over the SRMs, knowing that he can stay out of their reach. Aces falls back into cover. And he is doing work on that Bushwhacker. Takes out the mislinks from a distance. Hectic is trying to fight back. Locust is getting in a little dangerously close.
We've gathered enough resources. This triumph will
But
provide us huge
clock runs out.
benefits.
Aces gets it. look at the scoreboards here real quick. Fairly decent damage spreads between both sides. Update the score totals. No massive standouts between the sides. Pretty much everyone put in a good effort, but Aces was just a bit more effective with target calling and focusing once the fight finally started. So, Aces Wild with the first win. 5 kills. 79th Raptor Talon on the board with 3 kills, although in this season of Battle for Midway, kills don't count. So I'm just going to wait now for the teams to swap. We'll get the second drop underway. Looking at the map, Aces went for Epsilon. 79th set up for the middle while sending a light to Cap. And then from here, it was basically NASCAR around the map until Aces finally caught 79th Raptor Talon and initiated the brawl. Aces managed to win the brawl, but left the Locust alive, who was able to try and hang things on for 79th Raptor Talons, who had the ticket lead at that point, but it wasn't quite enough. The clock wasn't in their favor, giving Aces the win. So, if you haven't yet, exclamation point BFM to get in the giveaway. I currently show 19 total entries. 6 prizes spread across that. Pretty good odds. At this point also, the Cranky Canadians versus Death from Above should be going. You can have multiple Twitch streams up at once and bounce back and forth as the battles go on. Ash is giving away stuff on that stream as well. And just be a bit while we get lobbies figured out. Okay, here we go again. Just waiting for the load. So the question this time, will aces be more aggressive?
Command coming in. Capture and hold the resource points. Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
So, 79th Raptor Talon bringing Jenner 2C, Stormcrow, Piranha, Stormcrow, Bushwhacker, Stormcrow. Let's see what they're packing. It's not polite. I'm trying to pull your info up. Don't run away from me. 12 heavy machine guns, SRM on the Jenner. Pulse laser SRMs, LB20 SRMs, snub-nose PPC, LB20. Let's go see what Gecko's got.
Kappa is under enemy control.
Tag and ATMs. So an interesting build out from the 79th Raptor Talon, who was about to capture Epsilon. Aces was a little quicker getting to their home cap point of Kappa. They are packing a Piranha, Assassin,
We have gained Epsilon.
Linebacker, 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 Piranha. So again, let's take a look at builds. They're charging straight into Aces, or 79th Raptor Talons. And again, this is looking very brawly for the Aces as well. So here we go. Fight is going to be at the tanks. 79th Raptor Talon was a bit more spread this time when Aces went into them. Texas Ace and the linebacker dropped quickly by Aces. Or I'm sorry, Texas on Aces was dropped quickly by 79th Raptor Talons. Aces drops Gecko. Hectic's already down to 59% in his linebacker. And getting focused. T-Bird, legged, armed, getting focused hard and drops. '79th is showing much better discipline this time around. Aces drops Stormcrow. Geg is getting focused. Meanwhile, Piranha drops an Assassin. 3-on-2 in Ace's favor. Piranha going after the Jenner, while Aces is circling. They haven't really settled on a target. Someone dropped a strike. Linebacker getting focus of attention from 79th Raptor Talon. Jenner is legged and dropped. Linebacker dropped. Down to just 2 aces left. So at this point, tickets are even. All aces needs to do is get to Epsilon, flip the cap point, and the match is theirs. That was a good brawl. I liked 79th Raptor Talon's focus fire this time around, but it seems like the longer brawl duration ultimately played out in Ace's favor.
The enemy has capped enough resources.
Cap point is flipped.
We've failed.
Let's see what the scores look like. I'm rather curious this time. So for aces, Alex 545 in the Piranha doing some serious work with 400 damage, but overall, fairly even damage spread across the board. On the 79th Raptor Talons, Gecko 312 and the Stormcrow never really quite got to do anything as he was singled out early. Otherwise, again, very even damage spread for the rest of their squad. They were sharing armor and dishing it out fairly effectively as well. So we're going to go to the whiteboard, drop back to the lobby. I'm going to bring the map strat up on that one. And this was easy one to diagram out. Both teams went for their respective cap points, met in the middle, and just straight up traditional brawl. Get the scores updated. So we are now moving to Alpine Peaks. Again, 3 cap. Epsilon, Gamma, Kappa are your valid cap points. And we wait for the teams to figure out where they want to be. While we do that, what'll be interesting to see is if either team early on spends the resources to grab Gamma as a back cap. Traditionally, focus is on Epsilon and Kappa. Getting 2 Gamma from either side is a commitment, even for a fast mech. And the problem is, if you send your fast mech off to Gamma, you don't have him spotting for you on the main fight. But, depending on how things push, that light can come back into the game later and be effective at turning mechs around. So, it can be a gamble. Early on, you're down a mech. Later on, you've got a mech in a great flanking position. But you have to survive till later on for that to matter. 20 users in the raffle. Exclamation point BFM, as Nullruck is pointing out. We've got MC and mech bays to give away. Don't make me go back to Ash with unused codes. $10:23 by my clock. In theory, first drop should have occurred for Cranky Canadians versus Death from Above. Anyone in chat want to post the score? And just the usual shuffling around. This is where I need to have an Atari flashback hooked up to at least have something more entertaining when I've got nothing strat-wise to discuss and I'm just watching mechs shuffle around the mech bays. Bob the guy gets it. If unsure, enter the raffle again. Can't hurt, right? Okay, both sides have called set. Game is launching. So, any bets on what we're going to see? Distance trading game? Another brawl from both sides? Will LRMs come out to play? Who knows? Welcome to Alpine Peaks. Just waiting for the clock to start. There we go. Alright.
Command coming in. Capture and hold the resource points. Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
So, let's go look at Team 2 first. Aces Wild, up the hill at Kappa. We've got Arctic Wolf, Supernova, Huntsman, Warhawk, Huntsman, Battlemaster. I think they want to play the trading game. Meanwhile, down the hill,
We have gained
the
Epsilon.
79th Raptor Talon, we've got Mad Dog, Mad Dog, Mad Dog,
Kappa is under
Linebacker,
enemy
Linebacker,
control.
Linebacker. Linebacker Prime, Linebacker B, and a Linebacker D. Let's look at the configs. That's Brawl. That's Brawl. Yeah, no way about it. 79th Raptor Talon wants to smash face. Both sides are ignoring the valley and going around. I'm going to check Ace's builds just to make sure I didn't miscall trading. 4 ER larges, heavy, small, and ATMs. Interesting. ER PPCs. Fairly trady. Initial strikes have gone out. As we see the 79th Raptor Talons. Stage on the hill. UAV is up. Aces falling back. They don't have the DPS or the heat even on this cold map to face that head on. Texas and the Arctic Wolf keeping overwatch. Warhawk is set up and starting to take pot shots. Huntsman is coming over to assist. 79th Raptor Talon gets a strike out. Not going to do any damage. Ace is getting some more damage in as Raptor Talon crosses the valley. ATM's doing some damage. Gecko took that hard. And his Mad Dog down to 74%. Strike coming in from Ace's Wild. Raptor Talons are going to be able to... Artie rather than air, that actually scores some hits. Gecko down to 70%. Gagan, the linebacker, showing his face first, just getting pummeled. Doesn't quite make it into brawl range, but his sacrifice gets the other linebackers into the fight. V-Time getting focused. Warhawk is now isolated, 2 linebackers. Arctic Wolf coming in to support, but the linebacker going down hard. Wasn't a fight he was going to win. But Raptor Talons lose another linebacker. The Huntsman's ATMs being effective at trying to keep 79th Raptor Talon back. 79th now needs to decide how they're going to deal with them on the hill as the Arctic Wolf gets into the back of Gecko and drops him. So this is now a 5-on-2 for Aces. Hectic overheats. Harper tries to capitalize on it, but it's now a 5-on-1. Not going to pull it off. Ghost Snipers, the remaining 79th Raptor Talon mech, facing 5 Aces at the same time. He's trying to stay in their face, hoping someone's going to get hot or make a mistake, but he's down to 46%, 44, 42, 40, 36 as the ATMs and laser fire eat him up. Aces very definitively takes that match 5 kills to 1. Now, interestingly, they ignored Theta, even though it is legal for them to touch it at this point. They're all going to Epsilon to flip it. Is Hectic going to realize he can touch that? No. So, over to Epsilon. Question now, who's going to win the race? Huntsman or Arctic Wolf? Arctic Wolf has the lead, but he's got to climb a hill, whereas the Huntsman has a straight shot. It's going to be close, but Arctic Wolf jumps into the box first. Huntsman second. Meanwhile, the rest of the marathon racers straggle in.
They've taken Epsilon.
Point is flipped. Tickets go to Aces Wild. That makes a 3rd win for Aces. Update the scoreboard. Bring the stats up. Keldabisky in the Huntsman doing some excellent work for aces. 721 damage. Texas Ace in the Arctic Wolf, 660. Hectic, 766. And the rest of their team above 300 damage. Excellent job on Ace's side. On the R79 Talon side, damage spread isn't so hot. Geg in his linebacker, unfortunately, never got into brawling distance and paid for it. From there, Harper did the bulk of the damage at 385. I'm going to get kicked from the lobby, or kicked back to the lobby for staring at the scoreboard for too long. But damage really told the tale. 79th Raptor Talons just never could get into range quick enough before Ace's trade game chewed them up. Now let's pull up the maps. And again, fairly easy. 79th Raptor Talon went the wide route, hoping for the brawl. Aces did similar. Brawl happened here. And unfortunately, it wasn't a proper brawl like 79th Raptor Talon cluster was hoping for. Instead, Aces was able to hold enough distance and map control to use their trading mechs to rip up the 79th Raptor Talon mechs before they could get in and do damage. And no one went for Gamma. Ticket count never really came into play on that battle. So the question now, we flip sides. 79th Raptor Talon has a chance to rethink their options. Aces worked their deck pretty effectively. They're going to have to switch mechs because they burned a bunch in that one. But there's still a bunch of mechs that they could effectively pull off a similar strat with. So I'm expecting to see them stick with a winning strategy, stick with trade. They know they can face a brawl and win. What'll be interesting to see is if the Raptor Talon cluster also goes to a trade deck, or if they stick with the brawl and try and get in their face faster. Meanwhile, I got 24 entries in the raffle. Again, at the end of the stream, I'm drawing 3 winners for mech bays, 3 winners for 1,000 MC each. That's 6 prizes, only 24 entries. Your odds are really good. Plus, you should also be on the MRBC League official stream and entering the giveaways that Ash is doing, while Death from Above faces off against the Cranky Canadians in Division 3. So meanwhile, reviewing chat, I'm not seeing a bunch of hype in here. There's got to be 79th Raptor Talon Cluster fans and Aces Wild fans. Let's make some noise for the teams you guys like. And to review, we're currently at 3 drops in. Aces Wild India Outlaws have won all 3. 79th Raptor Talons, unfortunately, have been blank so far, but are at least putting up a fight. We have one side locked in, just waiting for the other. And we'll see what happens on the second Alpine Peaks drop. And I'm going to need a ref. Probably Ash is the best one to ask on this. Do ATMs count as clag? They seem fairly effective in that match. And you can't say when you're staring down a linebacker rush and they're in brawl range that ATMs are the easy button at that point. I'm going to say they're not clag. What's your opinion? Okay, looks like both sides are ready. We figured out who's sitting where on the dropships. Tray tables have been stowed, placed in the upright and locked positions. Seat backs are up. Captain has lit the no smoking sign. We're launching. And there's team kill jokes in chat. Gotta love it. Back to the snowy peaks of Alpine. Just waiting for everyone to load in. Now's your last chance to get your guesses in as to what the two sides are going to do. Again, we saw Aces bring a trade deck versus the 79th Raptor Talon Cluster's Brawl deck, and in that battle, trade won. Does Aces stick with a winning strategy? Does the 79th Raptor Talon double down? Or change it up? Does Gamma get any love? If everyone would just connect, this match would start and we'd find out. And to answer your question, Warhound, yes, there will be a VOD, and this will be uploaded to YouTube as well. We potentially have a disco. All right. Clock has started, but
Command coming in. Capture and hold the
no,
resource
they've said good to
point.
go,
Stop
so
any hostiles
this match
getting
is
your way.
live. So, we started with this side before, let's start with it again. 79th Raptor Talon Cluster has got Battlemaster, Battlemaster, Hellbringer, Battlemaster, Arctic Cheetah, Hunchback, 2C. I'm thinking they changed their game up. 5 ER large, 5 ER large, 4 ER large, 5 ER large. 79th Raptor Talon wants to try
We've
their
gained
game at the trade
Epsilon.
game.
Kappa is under enemy control.
Aces has Arctic Wolf, Huntsman with PPCs, Hunchback 2C, Warhawk, Supernova, Battlemaster. I'm going to look at the builds, but you can probably guess. Here are larges, PPCs, more ATMs. Folks, we have ourselves a trade game. Aces has grabbed Epsilon and is taking the other side this time. Again, avoiding the valley. 79th Raptor Talon cluster has set up on the opposite hill. Strike inbound from Aces. 79th strike versus Aces. Hit invisible terrain and landed on the wrong hill. So, I like what I'm seeing. You got two mechs approaching the line at the same time, however, Gag overheated. Another strike inbound as the mechs jam each other up. Managed to just escape. So far, no real damage on Ace's side. 79th Raptor Talon cluster has taken a little bit of damage in these trades. Nothing major yet. And now, unfortunately, we've got one mech, two mech up, shooting at different things. And you saw Aces was able to get shots in on them. We've got two units looking to change up, get their line into more of a concave as Ghost Sniper and Gecko form up over here. That was a nice trade there. Trying to focus shots on Black 6. Aces has a firing line, but I don't know if it's arranged. Ideally, versus the 79th Raptor Talon cluster line. Kind of a line pointing at them as opposed to a concave facing them. At the moment, some light trading. No real focus fire at the moment. My piloting skills are failing. Black spending a lot of time looking around. Takes damage for it. Milliken and Alex found a target to focus on. Head back over to the 79th side. See what they're up to. That's 79th Raptor Talon so far is not doing well on the trades. Peeking through the valley to take their shots takes longer to get in and out of shooting position than peeking from the top of the hill, and they're paying for it. D-Bird, meanwhile, seems to be having a better time of it. Takes a faceful there, but fortunately only from one of Ace's mechs, not the whole team. Strike coming in. Don't think he spots it. Overheats, takes two volleys from the artillery strike. So meanwhile, a couple units have broken off from the fight. Aces grabs Gamma. Their Arctic Wolf is going up the hill to get Overwatch. Meanwhile, I don't think he realizes that Crazy Mountain Biker from 79th Raptor Talons is going to go flip it back. I say this is a good call. At this point, both sides are fairly static. 79th Raptor Talon can't let that ticket lead get too far ahead. Ghost Sniper is going to join. That seems odd. Meanwhile, looking at the firing line, Cazador is down to 68%. Geg's at 73. Things aren't looking so well for the 79th Raptor Talon's firing line. On the Aces side, McKillen is looking the worst at 73%. Otherwise, everyone else is above 90% and content to kind of stay here. With Gamma, 79th Raptor Talon now has the cap lead. About an 80 ticket lead advantage for Aces Wild, though, so it'll be a bit for that advantage to show up in tickets. Aces has pulled off a couple of their trade mechs and is sending them in the back to deal with the two units that have separated off around Gamma. Well, let's go see if we've got a fight going over here. Arctic Wolf is being cautious for Aces. Catching a little bit of fire from Crazy Mountain Biker. He's starting to push. Arctic Wolf versus Arctic Cheetah. While the Huntsman does some trading with the Hunchback. Ghost Sniper is down to 47%, getting some good shots in on Texas Ace. Oh, Texas is getting teamed now. Loses a leg. Crazy Mountain Biker comes in from behind, is going to get that other leg. Meanwhile, Ghost Sniper gets legged and taken out by the Huntsman. We now have an 85% Huntsman versus a 98% Arctic Cheetah. This is not a fight I'd want to be in if I was the Huntsman. Meanwhile, Hectic in the Supernova is coming to assist. This is now a 2-on-1. The Arctic Cheetah needs to stay within Hectic's minimum range for those ATMs to keep him ineffective, but doing so is going to expose him to the Huntsman. Doing a good job staying in Hectic's face. And gotta watch that range. Hectic has small lasers, so is able to at least ping him a little bit. And now the other Aces units are pushing up to give assist. This is going to very quickly turn into a 5-on-1, 6-on-1. 5-on-1. And with the leg, that's it for Crazy Mountain Biker. Now Aces can regroup. Meanwhile, 79th Raptor Talon has used that as an opportunity to move away from their initial hill and push forward. They've got the ticket lead finally. So it's now on Aces to respond to this. So 79th Raptor Talon is going to push up towards Epsilon. I don't know if they're going to try and cap it or if they're going to try and... Well, they can't really control Kappa from here. Okay, so I think Gecko is going to play Overwatch so he can keep an eye on... They'll allow him to get shots on Kappa and prevent that from flipping if he doesn't keep walking off the hill. Gecko is heading off on his own. I don't know if that's really a good call. Aces has set up high above Kappa and is getting PPC shots in on T-Bird as they move through the valley and approach Epsilon. T-Bird hasn't lost any components yet. Does he have anything open? Or is he just hurting? One arm open. CT's taking a little damage. It's probably overheat. But he's still very much combat effective. Aces Wild has taken Gamma back. Meanwhile, 79th Raptor Talon has started the flip on Epsilon, while Aces is peppering it with shots. They're now down at Kappa, firing PPCs in to slow down the cap.
They've taken Epsilon.
Gag is out there on his own. Aces is going to be able to focus him from that distance. He's been taking PPC after PPC. T-Bird finally provides a new target to split Ace's fire. PPC is still focusing on Gag though. The other Raptor Talons is starting to get in range and push. Aces is pushing right up the valley. Ticket count is 50 points in 79th Raptor Talon's favor, but Aces has the cap lead. Gag at 49%, Catazor at 54%. Gecko's really their only healthy mech at 80%. Aces slowly walks up the valley.
The enemy has capped enough
and
resources. We've failed.
Didn't notice the clock. 79th Raptor Talon gets it via tickets at the clock. So let's look at the stats. '79th Raptor Talons squeeze a win out of that. Making it now 3-1 Aces. 79th Raptor Talons finally get on the board. Alex in the Warhawk for Aces doing amazing work with 814 damage. 79th Raptor Talons really weren't effective in their trade mechs other than dragging the fight out, which, at the end of the day, did what they needed. So, just waiting to find out what the last battle is going to be. And as a reminder, the options for the last map are going to be River City, Forest Colony, and Vervidian Bog. Forest Colony is the first map banned. Down to River City or Viridian Bog. Okay, and I've been corrected. It is not mountain biker, it's motorbiker. I will remember that. As a fellow crazy motorbiker, we've got to stick together. So still some discussion, waiting to see what the second map ban is going to be so we know where the fight is going to be for drop 5. Viridian Bog is the second ban. We are going to River City. So let's see what that looks like. So, valid caps are Epsilon, Theta, Gamma. Generally speaking, Theta is going to be the hot point on this map. The goal being, you capture, if you're Team 1, you take control of Gamma, get control of Theta, you do two cap control from there. If you're Team 2, you grab Epsi, again, grab Theta, and then do control from there. You can fairly effectively take pot shots at Theta from the sides. That's a mess. So, you've got lots of area on each side to do protected map control from. Against Theta. So this is what I expect to happen. Now the question is how they're going to do it. If you're doing the two cap control format, I'm going to expect tradie mechs from both sides. Now that said, with only a six mech drop, right, the tonnage is up there, but there are some faster big mechs. You could do a pure brawl push, skip the map control, and ram straight into the other side. Unlike what we saw on Alpine, you've got more opportunities to move up in cover. So if the opposing side running trade mechs is not on their toes, they will not have an opportunity to rip up the brawl push before it gets in their face. So, look forward to see what happens. Again, my history of calling these accurately is zilch, so I'm not going to make a call. That way you can't say I got it wrong. Meanwhile, final reminder, this is the last drop. At the end of this drop, I will be doing 6 drawings. 3 of them for 6 of them for 3 of them for MC, 3 of them for mech bays. I currently show 26 entries. Exclamation point BFM to get in the draw. And we just wait for the teams to get themselves sorted. Drop 5. Aces Wild has 3 drops to 79th. Raptor Talon Clusters 1 drop. Who's going to take the last drop? I can't really stick to Mountain at this point. MTR is clearly Motor, not Mountain. Okay, there's a lock. Just waiting for the last lock. And yes, that was a bit of a fifth drop stretch. Unfortunately, I don't have the band set up in the background to play Sweet Caroline. So speaking of, how many baseball fans we got in chat? Wolfie, I don't see you in the contest yet. Exclamation point BFM. Okay, we are getting ready for the last drop. Last chance to make a call. I'm going to say Aces, mid-range. 79th Raptor Talons are going to go Speedy Brawl. Fight is going to be at the Citadel. Now let's see how wrong I am. And here's our beautiful River City, complete with spaceport, waterfront district. And if you look around the city, you'll find there's some beautiful art and sculptures, along with conveniently placed mech capture points for no conceivable reason in the middle of what is obviously a residential area. Alright, Aces Wild is dropping with Mad Cat 2 Warhammer, Arctic Wolf, Mad Cat 2 Warhammer, Cyclops. Meanwhile, 79th Raptor Talon and Mad Cat 2, Triple Dragon Threat, more Mad Cat 2s. So I think my prediction is probably already off to begin with. Medium range, brawl, distance. So I'm not too off yet. Aces seems to have a medium to distance build. Let's go see what the Raptor Talon cluster brought.
They've taken Epsilon.
Ultras.
We have Gamma.
Ultras. And a mouse that decided to stop working at random. That's never good. Classic Dragon 5N with the Ultra AC2s. So both sides are looking to trade. Texas Ace working on
Resource point
flipping
Theta is ours.
Theta while catching some flack from the Dragons, but manages to get out of there mostly unscathed. So Aces now have the 2-cap control. They're set up on spaceport. Raptor Talon cluster is doing a decent job of getting damage in on them. Strike comes in, and they are pushing across, not worrying about Theta. They want to get right into Ace's face. With those Ultras, they've got the DPS to be a real threat. D-Bird was looking to be the first one up the ramp, but backed off. Gonna wait for more of his team to get over here. And here he goes. That may be foolish. Thinks better of it. More of the Raptor Talon cluster forms up on the ramp. Cazador peeks. sees the Warhammer. He's the first target of 79th Raptor Talon's focus. Got him down to 59%, 55%. Now 3-on-1 versus that Warhammer. They rip him up 34%, 33, 32, and drop him. They immediately turn on Black 6 in the Cyclops. He's got more of a build out for them, loses an arm. But he's bringing those SRMs, throws it into Crazy Motorbiker's back, dropping him down to 37%. Cazador is down to 36%. Crazy Motorbiker drops. Dragons are hanging back to do distance poking. Oh, no. A couple of them are getting in there also. Aces is getting beat up hard by this push. Black 6 and the Cyclops goes down. 4-on-4. Aces manages to drop Gag. Alex is looking for cover at 27%. He's hurting. Mad Cat and Warhammer looking for a better place to trade from. Three Dragons versus Arctic Wolf, Mad Cat, and Warhammer. T-Bird eats some Goss. Warhammer and Mad Cat. We're going to turn on Redefine, but Verticorda came in and said, no time to focus. Gets in on Jalek's back and is just pounding. Has Jalek down to 44%. Gets some parting shots in, then turns to go assist the Arctic Wolf. Or, not assist the Arctic Wolf, beat him up. Arctic Wolf gets a good back shot in on Redefine. They drop Mad Turtle. Now, two Dragons versus a Arctic Wolf and a Mad Cat. Dragon drops. Verticorda is now in an unfair fight, 2-on-1. Down to 62%. Jalek at 33% is just hoping to stick around and absorb some damage so that the Arctic Wolf can get back shots. Verticorda loses his arm and his stick. So that's it. Texas Ace is going to run off to flip Theta back. I'll give Aces both active cap points. Jalek finishes off the Dragon, and that's your match. Aces win. Good fight by both sides. Looking at the final numbers, Aces putting out some heavy damage from that Mad Cat 2 under Jalek's control. 876. Mad Turtle and his Warhammer, 621. High damage scores across the board. 79th Raptor Talon cluster putting up some decent numbers of their own. The Dragons topping out at 699 damage by Verticorda. Mad Cat 2s didn't quite work as effectively, topping out at 373 damage, but still put up a fight. So, update the final scores. And my overlay went wonky again. Not sure what's triggering that issue. So we'll do it this way. Time for horrible finger paint. Ace is wild. 4 drops. to the 79th Raptor Talon clusters. 1. Aces takes the match. So with that, I'm going to close the stream out. But first, we got giveaways to do. So, first 3 giveaways are going to be mech packs. Pay attention, Nullruck's going to call out the winners. Close the raffle now. We've got 26 entries. So, Sir Reckless, you win a mech pack. Chimera 11. Or sorry, not a mech pack, mech bay. Oh geez. That would get me in trouble. So, Sir Reckless, you win a mech bay. Chimera 11, you win a mech bay. And Witch Doctor. And let me just appease chat so they don't freak out because they can't hear what I'm saying. So now for the 1000 MC codes, we're going to pick 3 more. Warhound, McGoat, you've been active all over the place. Glad to see you win. And the Mad Turtles. Congratulations to you guys. You're getting 1000 MC. On that note, this has been another Battle for Midway match. Thank you all for watching. As noted, this will be a VOD on Twitch, and I will be uploading it to YouTube also. Evening all.